Louder!
And it's time for the Gore N More podcast.
Gonna have a good time.
Gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We're going on now.
A ball break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll breathe the sweet salt air. I swear we'll never part.
We're going on now.
A ball break, running in the sand, feeling alright.
And what is up, everyone, and welcome to the Gore N More podcast. It is Monday, October 17th, and we are here to do the damn thing, baby. We are here to do the damn thing, but as you can see, we are missing our Fluff Master Supreme. He is not feeling so well, so with us, you get us right here, these guys. What did I say I was going to call us? The handsome horror...
No, the handsome haunted...
now you're going to make me look it up.
Damn it. It was
that's what I'm doing too.
Damn it.
Haunted Handsome Homies of Horror.
There
we go.
There you go. But first, let me introduce the Dark Lord of Knowledge, the one, the only, Chad Daddy Chrisman.
What's up, bitches?
And down below, we have the Meat Mountain himself, Bobby Amone. What's up, baby?
Good evening, fuckers.
Boing.
And I am your host with the Ghost Lord, Scuba Cabra. And like I said, we're here for the Gore N More podcast. And we're going to do this, but you know what we got to do first, gentlemen? It is now time for your Salaf!
Beautiful.
Bobby, take it away, baby.
Hold on. Let my heart. Get that real quick. Well, are we on a 2-minute clock? Yes, like normal.
I didn't load it, so
Okay. Well,
Just go.
So last week during the week, just basically worked and all of that fun stuff. Friday, me and my girlfriend and my one friend, we went and saw Halloween Ends, which we'll discuss later. And then Saturday, me and my girlfriend, we were out with a few more friends of ours. We actually went to New York City for a party called House of Spirits. So it's literally a haunted soiree. That's exactly what it is. It's like,
ooh, I like the word soiree there, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Fancy.
So it's literally 5 floors, and you have to dress up like you can dress up like you're going to a Halloween party, but you can also dress up like a masquerade party. So you could do a nice blend of everything. So I did like the old doctors. What is it like the
Plague Doctor?
Yes, that's it.
Nice.
So I did like
you
a
did
little
the
plague
nose thing. That's
doctor.
how I figured it out.
Yes, that's why I was like, I'm trying to like what they call them again. And then my girlfriend had like a Renaissance outfit that went with it, and she had a masquerade mask.
Oh.
My one friends, they were dressed up like in dark black dress, and he had stud boots. Like we were ready to go all out. So we did. We enjoyed it. And each room of the 5 levels has its own separate drink. So all alcoholic drinks, and they're all themed with the room. Like they had a Ouija room, they had a seance room, they had like a dance room, but each room had its own drink. So you go to the room, you get as many as you want, basically, and do whatever. They had like a haunted maze. You could go play. They had like a fake Ouija board you could play with. They had all kinds of little activities. So it was a fun time.
Nice.
And then yesterday, I actually had an event, which is actually on my shirt with me, which I'll talk about real quick. So it was a place called Pothead's Coffee House in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. They wanted to do like a Halloween like event. So my friend Lisa, who has done plenty of photos with me, she said, they want to have you as Jason there and someone as Michael. I said, sure. Why not? And it was really, really, really busy. Like we took so many pictures. They made shirts. Like I'm on a shirt, and they have the licensing to use Jason and Michael. So that's me on the Pothead's Coffee House shirt right here.
Very nice.
And you can
Very cool.
go on their website and buy them. They have ones with me, with Michael, and then ones with both of us. So we did that pretty much for the first half of the day yesterday. And then we went into Scarecrows, which was like down the street from it. And, spent more money, which I have to show what I got. I got the Toonie Terrors Halloween 3.
Nice.
So I was happy when I found this. So I got that. And then me and my girlfriend went to a haunted hayride last night, right around the corner from the house, and it was a nice little. It was a good little haunt. It was scary. It had some good jumps with it. It was a fun night. It was a fun weekend, and then I got to watch this classic movie, which I'm so excited to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
but that was my slice of life. Chad Daddy, I want to hear yours
Man,
now.
I gotta say mine wasn't nearly as exciting. It was kind of mellow, kind of laid back. Friday. Like most everyone else, I saw Halloween Ends. I sat down and watched it as soon as I got the kids on the bus in the morning. I came home, turned on Peacock, and watched it. And like you said, we'll talk about that later. What else did I do? My son had a soccer game. It was his last actual, just normal soccer game for the season, and they didn't win. They end up losing 4-1, but his team's still in second place. So this upcoming weekend is tournament day. So he has to play at least 2 games, and then we'll see how much further he goes on from there. And the tournament basically is what decides the championship. And win or lose, I don't really care. He had a good time. He loves soccer. He wants to come back up to do spring soccer. So I'm pretty happy. I feel like it was time well spent, money well spent. He enjoyed it. He wants to do it again. So it's a win-win situation for me. And he's made some pretty good friends. So it's good. And it was a beautiful day Saturday too. It was nice and sunny. It was warm, perfect kind of weather you want to go sit and watch a game. It wasn't too hot. My daughter complained it was too hot, but she always complains when it's warm. And then let's see.
I'd be your daughter. I'd be like, fucking hot.
Oh, dude, it wasn't even 70 degrees, so it wasn't
Still
hot.
fucking hot.
It felt good. It felt good. And yesterday, yeah, pretty mellow. I don't think I really did much of anything yesterday. Now that I think about it, but and I started playing this game called Deathloop on PS5, with Bethesda made it. Of course, they made the Fallout series,
Yeah.
among others. It's pretty fun. You're supposed to die over and over in this game. It's called Deathloop, and every time you die, it's like you learn something new about yourself, and you learn something about this. It's really interesting. You just got to play it to understand. Like, I was stuck in this one part of the game because it says you have to go into the building, into the library, and like the whole building's locked down. The front gate is the front door is just a gate. You can't get in.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I can't figure out what to do. It's like, okay, maybe if I die, I'll figure something out. So I threw my character. There's a cliff there, and I just threw off the cliff to see what happened. So you respawn in your apartment, gather everything up, went back there, and this time the door was open. So I was supposed to die. Yeah.
Huh.
It's just really cool little things like that. So I was playing that. Then today, my wife went and did her, not a job interview. It was something she had to do, but she starts a new job tomorrow, so she's going to be a teacher's aide now.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. And she'll be down at the high school with the kids. And I had this funny thought this morning. I told her to. I said, "So you're going to be a teacher's aide at the high school?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "The kids are going to have to call you Mrs. Chrisman, and I think that's the first time anybody's ever really called you that." Like, I think you're right.
That means you're moving up in life.
Yeah,
It
buddy.
does. It does. So she'll be doing that, and I'll be doing, the stay-at-home dad thing for a while. And this summer, I'll probably find a decent job, and then because my youngest daughter will be old enough to go to kindergarten.
Nice.
She
Nice.
just missed the cutoff age by 2 weeks, or she would have started this year because she was born in the middle of July, and July 1st was the cutoff.
Dang.
Yeah, but it'll be great. She needs a little bit more time at home, and me and her have this great bond anyway, so we'll have fun.
Yeah. Cherish it, man. Cherish it.
Absolutely, I am.
Mine's gonna be a senior, and I remember my stay-at-home dad days, and those were some of the best times, man.
Yep, wouldn't give it up for anything. I'm loving it. So I've kind of talked enough. Scoobs, it's your turn, brother.
Well, Thursday I watched Halloween Ends, and like we said, we'll talk about that later. Friday, I was off on vacation, so I really didn't do much but decorate my house. I am like on a decorating frenzy. Like I've said previously, I'm in a competition with one of my neighbors down the way, who turns out is one of my friends. So we have this decorating battle going on, and I kind of think I'm a little bit ahead right now, especially after putting up my LED lights in the yard last night.
My wife loves your setup, by the way.
Awesome. I'm glad she does. His is kind of similar. He did the cemetery thing also, but he has like inflatables and stuff, and it just kind of looks, I don't know. I wanted mine creepy. So I was like, man, I just want a creepy. I don't want any light up inflatables. I don't, I just want the creepy factor. So that's what I've been working on. I saw this really cool video on TikTok where you can make like a smoldering mound of charred bones out of lights and spray foam. So I took it one step further. I bought a big cauldron from Party City and I stuck the lights in the cauldron, foam, more lights, foam, more lights, foam. So now I have a smoky cauldron of these light up bones. And I got chicken wire, made this little ghost girl into more of like a witch, I guess you would say, that's sitting in front of the bone. So it looks super fucking creepy.
That
So
sounds so cool.
I've just been working on Halloween shit all weekend. That's what I did.
Nice.
I made an arch for my walkway leading up to the house out of pool noodles. And
Hey,
that's
Big
all I
Johnny
did.
D's listening in, buddy.
Johnny, there he is.
Hey, Johnny D, what's up, buddy?
Notice they're
but-
they're commenting on YouTube, so I'm guessing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Facebook isn't working yet. So
Yeah, it's not on Facebook. I went ahead and shared the link on Facebook and told people to watch on YouTube. I don't know what's going on. Even my Facebook wouldn't load.
It's probably got to be
On live,
Facebook
so.
at this point, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Who knows? But then I got to watch this movie, which I was not disappointed with. And I spent time with a girlfriend, of course. That's my
that's a given.
everyday thing. I get to spend time with my lovely lady. But we're not. I'm done. That's all I did. So now let's talk about this. And Chad Daddy, this was your pick.
This was my pick.
So
So happy when he
today-
chose this too.
And you know what? I almost went with the remake, but I said, we got to start with the classic. So today we're talking about the original House on Haunted Hill, released February 17th, 1959. And it goes a little something like this. A millionaire, Frederick Lauren, invites 5 strangers to a party in the house on Haunted Hill. The house has a past of brutal murders. Mr. Lauren's 4th wife, Annabelle, warns the guests that her husband is insane and plans something that night. That's when everyone begins to suspect something's going on with Mr. Lauren. At midnight, the doors are locked and there's no way to get out. The house is presumably haunted. One of the guests, Mr. Pritchard, who seems to know a great deal about the history of the place, and says there are 7 ghosts in all, but greed drives most of the victims, who immediately face various threats to their lives. As the guests continue to be frightened and threatened, 2 have their very own specific reason for being there, and not everyone will live through the night. As the night progresses, all the guests are trapped inside the house with ghosts, murderers, and other terrors. Directed by the late, great William Castle. Of course, most of us know who he is, but in case you didn't, he did movies like The Tingler, 13 Ghosts. He was very gimmicky with his movies. And
Yeah,
if you
he
get
was.
Tingler had a really cool gimmick, though. That
yes,
was a
it did.
really
It,
cool
it
gimmick,
actually
yeah.
legit shocked people. And if anybody doesn't know, look up William Castle, do a little research, see what he did. Amazing stuff. The guy was a visionary.
Yes.
Also, it was written by Rob White, who also wrote The Tingler and 13 Ghosts, produced by, of course, William Castle, who did, among others, he did 13 Frightened Girls. And believe it or not, he actually produced Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's been a minute for that movie.
Yeah, it has. So it was starring. Oh, wait, sorry, Bobby.
I was gonna say, I didn't realize
I was
wasn't
stepping on your
doing
toes. I apologize.
It's all good. Starring we already know Vincent Price. If you don't know what he's done, we have a problem. As Frederick Lauren, Carol Hart, The Scavengers, Spider Baby as Annabelle Lauren, Richard Long, Ma and Pa Kettle, 77 Sunset Strip as Lance Schroeder, Alan Marshall, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the opposite sex as Dr. David Trent, Carolyn Craig, Giant, Apache Territory as Nora Manning, Alicia Cook Jr., the Maltese Falcon, Salem's Lot as Watson Pridgett, credited as Alicia Cook, Julie Mitchum, The High and the Mighty, The Edge of Hell as Ruth Bridgers, Leona Anderson, Ashes, Johnny Gunman as Mrs. Slides. Oh, okay, now I'm like, wait a minute, where'd that name come from again? Howard Hoffman, The Littlest Hobo, Macabre. Am I saying that right, or just Macabre?
Macabre. I
Macabre.
would say just macabre.
As Jonas as Jonas slides. Take it
I'd just like to
away.
point, yes, Vincent Price is famous for the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo.
You're lying, Ben. He's famous for Thriller. He's famous for Thriller and
Oh,
his
he's that
awesome
Thriller
rap.
guy.
Yeah, Bobby, you're coming in really crackly again. I don't know if you want to give us one more refresh just for the heck of it. That would be amazing, buddy.
I'll try.
All right. Chad, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
Oh, you take it. I did the rundown.
All right.
My guest.
Music by Von Dexter, 13 Ghosts, Mr. Sardonicus. Cinematography by Carl E. Guthrie, Frankenstein, 1970, and The Green Hornet. Edited by Roy Livingston, Zorro, The Sign of Zorro. Effects and makeup by Herman Townsley, The Angry Red Planet, My Favorite Martian. Distributed by Allied Artists, runtime of 75 minutes, MPAA rating, there was no rating. Budget of $200,000 and it grossed $2.5 million.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was
that
a big
is
hit for the time.
I was going to say, for the time, that is a ton of money. I don't know what that relates to now, but that's a hit right there.
Yeah, that was definitely.
But I will have to say, in watching this, it's not really a horror movie. It's more of a whodunit.
I know, and that's what caught me off guard too, because I was definitely expecting a horror movie. I've only seen the remake, and the remake,
yes,
the remake is great and has a really good cast, and it actually is a haunted house. It's kind of ambiguous as to whether or not there were ever actually any ghosts there. Most of what we see wasn't.
Yeah.
It was all, a big fake out. They were trying to off Vincent Price for the money, as his wife and the doctor were. Which, by the way, I'm sitting there looking at the wife. I'm like, she's really good looking, but she kind of reminds me of somebody. And it hit me halfway through the movie. She looks almost exactly like Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that.
Like the cheekbones, I think, is what. So sorry, I needed a drink. But and this is, like you said, it's more of a mystery whodunit, which wasn't what I was expecting when I saw this. And that also, believe it or not, this movie was a huge influence on Alfred Hitchcock, and that's why he made Psycho.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good movie. I'm not gonna say it was a fun movie, but it was a great, like I said, whodunit, because you go in thinking, okay, like you said, I had only ever seen the remake. So with the remake, of course, we know how that one turned out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of expected the same thing out of this. And you don't know. I mean, because even that old lady she was fucking floating. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
who knows? I mean, there were some points where you almost got okay, is this really happening, or is it all just his theatrics for the setup? But I mean, there was so many different things going on with these people that you don't know who was trying to get who and who was in with them, and but it was a really good movie.
But Vincent Price plays it off so well too.
Yeah. Definitely.
To every degree. The man knows how to basically be scary, frightening, funny, and yet scared all in one. Like, yeah. He made. I mean, obviously it's Vincent Price. Everybody else was great, but he made it as if like, wow, we really don't know what the hell's going on here.
And after his intro to the movie, I was really bummed that I just shaved my mustache off, because I loved the little twist up. I was like, damn it, why did I shave? I could have done that on Monday.
Yeah, my biggest disappointment with this movie is, and you're probably not going to hear me say this much, say this very often about a movie. This needed to be at least 15 minutes longer.
Yeah. I felt like
would agree with
everything
that.
just came full circle way too fast.
Yeah, it was an hour and 15 minutes. A 90-minute runtime would have been perfect for this.
Yeah.
Just to kind of stretch it out, give us a little bit more of the fake hauntings, or maybe even some of the real hauntings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe movies back then, I mean, because they wrote movies different back then than what we're used to nowadays,
Yeah.
But I feel it was such a good movie, and I'm really not a big black and white movie fan. I wasn't expecting much, especially after watching A Haunting, because people love that movie so much. So I thought maybe this one was going to be another letdown, and I was so happy that it wasn't. It kept me hooked every single step of the way. I loved just the entire the scenery. Everything was just so great. I mean, and you could tell it was a set, but it was just so you got that fear, like shit, they can't get out. You know, there's no way for them to get
Yeah.
out, and it just they pulled it off so well. Like it was such a good movie.
Yes, it was.
I've
And-
seen this movie, I don't know how many times. I watch it this time of year so much. Like my mom's even sometimes like, why do you watch it so many times? I'm like, it's got that ambiance to it. It's a haunted house movie, but it's a whodunit movie. It's Vincent
Yeah.
Price. It's got the like right elements to have a good little spooky night, but not one where you're gonna be like one where you're gonna be, just kind of like, oh shit, what's going on here?
It's even got that great soundtrack that you want from a haunted house movie.
Yes.
Yes.
The soundtrack was perfect,
Mhm.
especially like that is the soundtrack for that era of movies. You
Mhm.
know,
Oh, yeah.
so good. But I watched the colorized version. I don't know if you guys.
So did I.
Okay.
I almost did, and I was reading the reviews further on down on Prime, and people were saying the colorized version was shit because it's cropped to fit. Yeah. So I almost did, and then I looked at that and like, I'm gonna go with black and white for this.
I started watching it in black and white, and then I had to go do something, and I started watching. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up where it is on color, and there were some parts of it that were kind of weird, like the coloring wasn't correct. Like there was this
Yeah.
one part where they're talking, and you see the woman's hand, and her hand's still gray. I'm like, is she wearing a fucking glove? Like what? Oh
Yeah.
wait, I forget. This was a black and white movie. They colorized it.
But some of the colors of like some of their outfits, I'm like, nah, that doesn't look like that's what he would be wearing or the color she would be wearing. But then again, it probably is or was, but some of it didn't look right. But it was still cool to watch it in color.
Yeah, this was definitely a cool movie, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And I'm glad this is our first foray into a William Castle movie.
Oh,
Maybe we'll go back and watch another of his. I know we got 13 Ghosts coming up, but it's the remake, not the original. Maybe next year we'll throw a couple of his in there just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it because I love the gimmicks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, granted, we're not going to be able to watch the Tingler the way it was meant to be watched, but
Yeah.
just the fact that he was a very gimmicky person when it came to his movies, I love that.
And he inspired, then his gimmicks inspired. There was a movie called Matinee with John Goodman,
Mhm.
and also inspired scenes in the movie Popcorn as well.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
cool.
Okay. I got it. Like I said it before. I got excited when you said House on Hotel. I'm like, you got to put that in the list, please. Like, yes.
And I kind of almost wanted to watch the remake, like how we had talked about watching both, just so we could compare. Because I haven't seen the remake.
I would have if I had
forever.
more time, but I literally just watched this. Just got finished maybe an hour or so before we got on here,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't have had time, unfortunately. And I do want to watch it because my wife did not like this.
She didn't like it.
She didn't like it. I think she was expecting like an actual horror movie versus a whodunit. Because like I said, we didn't know it was a whodunit, so it's kind of a surprise.
And that's what, like I said, that's what surprised me is I always assumed that it was a horror movie, that it had ghosts, because that's what I saw in the remake.
And I love the twists. You're like, oh crap! Well, the wife's the first one dead. Oh, she's not dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh wait, he's not dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great. It was definitely enjoyable to watch. I would definitely watch this again.
And I totally have the gun that they have in the movie. I have one of those.
Nice.
I just remembered it's in my drawer. I was gonna have it like this when we started the show, but I forgot to get it.
Could you?
Oh man.
Could you imagine though? You go to a house party and like that's the thing. You see little coffins like that, and there's guns in there. It's like,
But I mean,
Really?
but they had a point. What is a gun gonna do to a ghost?
It's
You know?
true.
But
It's
I
true.
mean, I do when I do my investigations, we're always packing. But in our cases, because you never know who's
who's going to be there?
Yeah, so we're always packing. So just listen up. You ever try to sneak up on us? Just be careful because we're always packing.
And I'm kind of curious. We know her pistol had blanks. Do you think everybody else's was, or was it just hers
I
specifically?
think everybody's had blanks except
That's
for
what
that
I was thinking.
first.
See, I'm actually thinking everybody else's were real and hers are blanks because he knew no. I have a feeling he knew nobody's going to shoot, unless except for her. She gets nervous. Everybody else wasn't like that. He knew.
Yeah, but did he know who all was in it?
I mean, the man.
He would have had to do some kind of research, but
The man's a millionaire, so it's not like he can't get access to be like, I need to find out what's behind the backgrounds of these people.
I mean, he obviously knew about the doctor and his wife.
Yeah.
He knew they
so
were having an affair, so that's why he was there.
Yeah.
So I think he did. I think so.
I want to say that, I mean, if I was in that situation, I would have just loaded one live round and then everybody else's would have had blanks, because there wouldn't, even if there were no reason for anybody else to shoot, then why waste the live rounds when you can just load it with blanks?
This is true too.
Ben said he did a quick Google search.
Yeah, I don't think that existed back then, buddy. That's not how that worked. Maybe nowadays, but not back then. Do you guys have anything else you want to say, or do we want to hear from brother down under?
I
Let's
would
hear
like
from
to love to
I'll
hear
see-
from
I'll
the
see.
man down under.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Howdy fucking doody there, folks. It's your DKB here, back for another episode of Gore N More, and this week I'm here to talk to you about House on Haunted Hill. I'll just start off by saying that for a runtime at this length, I think it's a nice, neat little package with what we get. I mean, it deals with a lot of themes of especially the supernatural, paranormal, and a who's-done-it type film, and they really play off each other, and it's really fun to see that play off each other, especially with the storytelling and the characters themselves. You know, it creates this intense atmospheric presence around the house, and it made me glued to the TV for that short runtime. And when that runtime was up, I was like, holy fuck, I was actually enjoying this, and it went that goddamn quick. So yeah, what else I really like about this film is the fact that with each character that we get about a 2-minute bio on each one of them at the start of the film, as Vincent Price addresses the audience. And he tells us who they are, a little bit of the backstory and why they're there and what they're going to use the money for. And I thought that was really good because it takes about 10 minutes up of the film. There's about 5 or 6 characters. And then once he's finished with them, we can go straight into the film. We're not here to fuck spies. Let's just get this show on the road. So the minute we've got their backstories, and we're familiar with the characters, we're invested, we can go straight into this fucking house and get this shit on the road. And I really enjoyed that. Now, another thing is, do you think that this is one of the very first films that had a fourth wall break? Because not only did Vincent Price address the camera at the very start of the film before he gave us the bios of these characters, it was also Watson. But halfway through this film, Vincent Price gives us this look to the camera, and he speaks to us while his wife combs her hair, and it was just a really weird moment. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, I just had to throw that in there. Anyway, all right. So I think the story itself is like clever in its own little weird way, especially for something back in the 50s. I kind of feel with these older films, they had to really rely on their storytelling and acting to make a great film. Because, I mean, the cinematography is nothing really special, especially back then. It was just standard filmmaking. I mean, they hadn't really obviously progressed in a certain way. But yeah, like I said, the storytelling was great. There was a couple of twists here and there that I felt was actually, interesting. I have like three problems with this film, and that was like one where, okay, so Annabelle supposedly dies in this film. Spoiler alert, I don't care. But Nora's looking out her window, Annabelle's floating, and then the fucking noose comes in, and then it flies back out the window. But then it cuts back to Annabelle in bed, and she's not dead. So it was this like, is that meant to say that this house is haunted and it was a ghost playing off Annabelle's presence, or was it actually Annabelle outside doing this shit? They don't really explain, they don't really show us or elaborate on it. It's kind of swept under the rug. Another thing was when they first rock up to the house and they walk inside, Watson is extremely familiar. He's one of the characters that's going to spend the night for the money. He rocks up with the group. He's familiar with the house. He knows the backstory of it. He knows exactly what happened there with each person in the past, how they died, in which spot of the fucking house, whatever it is. He's a creepy motherfucker. And they walk in, and there's a fucking stain on the roof, and it leaks, and it drips onto one of our actresses. And because being a black and white film, us, the audience, can't really tell if it's blood or water, but I would assume it's blood because someone fucking died there, which Watson addresses. He goes, someone died in that spot upstairs. And then they don't address that it's water or blood as well to the audience in the dialogue. And she just wipes it off. But us, the audience, are like, no, that's definitely blood. That's a red fucking flag. I mean, you'd get the fuck out of that house quick, smart. Oh, no, I'll just stay. it's just blood. And the final thing I had a problem with this film is Nora finds a head in her fucking case full of clothes. She goes and tells them. They think she's overreacting, saying shit. And then Lance goes upstairs to see Nora later in the film, and then he finds that head in her cupboard. He takes it downstairs to Watson. He's like, "What the fuck's this?" And Watson, being the paranormal fucking like the expert that he is, he's just like freaked the fuck out. But then like Lance is just carrying around like, "Oh, check this shit out." Sits it on the table. Lance is like, "Oh my god, that's a ghost head or fucking something." And then like in the third act of the film, they all go back into the room because Vincent Price's wife dies, and they go there to sit there and talk about what's going on and who's doing what and who's gonna, like, there's a killer in the room and you want all the money for yourself and you're gonna kill us all. And then it's like Lance is there, just he's a part of it, but it's like, Lance, address the situation. What fucking happened earlier? You found that head. Where's the fucking head in that room now? Did someone come in and rip it out and throw it away, or is it actually a ghost head? Tell the others what the fuck you found, motherfucker. Like, it was just little things like that that frustrated me, that really needed tuning up in the script. Or if it was in the script, it's the filmmaker that really needed to like lift his A game. Yeah, it's just little things like that. I was like, fuck, you could have had it set up so well, but in saying that, it still does create that fear and paranoia, because it then questions us, like, did someone come into that room and throw that cunt out, or is it actually a ghost head? That were just my little things. But anyway, I think Vincent Price is fucking fantastic in this film. I mean, every time he graces the screen with his presence, I'm all for it. He's very calm, collected, and quietly spoken. Very, not polite to his wife, of course. But you know, I could just listen to him all day, and just to watch him like act, he's just so. Like, he's not full of himself, he's just really comfortable with acting, and it's just really great to see him like bring his character to life, especially by the end of the film when we get that little bit of a twist. And the chemistry between him and his wife was actually really interesting to fucking see. I mean, yeah, obviously that shit wouldn't sail. I mean, it wouldn't have sailed fucking good back then, but even today it'd be 10 times fucking worse. But anyway, I'm going to have to give this film a solid 3. Like I said, I was entertained throughout the whole entire 2 minutes of this film, and I thought it was pretty clever in its own little weird and fucking unique way. I also forgot to mention that scene with the fucking witch lady, the old lady. That was actually pretty creepy and effective. I fucking enjoyed that. That was good. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, other than that, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it. I'm sorry that this fucking went for longer than I expected, this review. But other than that, I will catch you motherfuckers next week. Cheers.
Yeah.
Solid.
Right.
Like, very.
Thank you,
100%
Brody.
solid.
So I wanted to address the fourth wall break, and before I started playing Brody's video, I was telling myself, don't forget the fourth wall break. Did you guys notice that? And
I did, and I
What-
completely
oh, yeah.
forgot about it. And he might be right. This might be one of the earliest, if not the earliest, fourth wall break.
when I saw that, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
holy shit, that was fourth wall break. And then I thought to myself, was that the first fourth wall break ever in a movie?
I'm going to Google that
Huh.
real quick while we discuss.
Yeah.
And by the way, and he asked another question about Annabelle, appearing in the window outside Nora's room. Yes, that was actually her, not a ghost, because the doctor questioned her about it and said that was a nice twist of you popping up outside the window. I'm not sure how they
Did that.
really achieved the rope snaking into the room, but
Yeah.
she could have just even hallucinated that part after seeing. I don't know, but
Well, I mean, she was
like-
already crazy. I mean, she
Yeah.
was literally the weakest minded person there. But my issue with Nora, she had all this crazy shit already happen. She was already super fucking paranoid. When she found that head in her luggage, why didn't she take the goddamn suitcase with her?
Yeah,
I would have taken it and been like, look, I'm not crazy. Here it is. Here's the fucking head.
okay,
That's just me.
upon a little research, that actually the first movie to break the fourth wall was a silent film from 1918 called Men Who've Made Love to Me.
Oh my.
So it wasn't the first,
Wow.
but it's definitely an early one.
The Men Who Made Love to Me. I think we should review that, guys.
No, thank you.
Why not? Why, you trying to tell us something?
But yeah, and another thing, Brody asked if that was blood or water. I'm assuming it was blood.
No, it's blood in the
But-
color version.
Yeah, well, because even even the second time it happens, she freaks out, but she freaks out more the second time it happened. But I mean, that plot point just kind of didn't go anywhere either, because what was his name? Pritchard, was that his name? The one that
Pritchard.
had already been in the house.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, they marked you, and then it just kind of didn't go anywhere with that.
I
So
feel like that was just him being paranoid,
Or being a
and
drunk.
that too. But the red bloodstains were basically just a red herring. It didn't really mean anything. Excuse me. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Didn't really mean anything in the long run. But that's okay. I did not mind that.
No.
Yeah.
It kept you guessing.
Yeah. This was a big guessing game movie, and it did well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and you get like we said, you get those little bit of paranormal, supernatural aspects to it, but you really don't. But it's still a great whodunit, and it keeps you drawn to these characters. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than I
Give me a quick 2 minutes, guys. I gotta go answer the call of nature.
Oh, it's what
okay.
happens when you get old.
Don't fall in.
But yeah, I mean, Nora, she just, I loved how she was super paranoid. I loved, Brody also mentioned the old lady, that one scene where she's just like in the dark. That was creepy. That creeped me out.
And I like how we see that old lady later with her husband by the door.
Yeah.
And I've been surprised that she's blind, but it makes me wonder. It's like, okay, she's blind, but what would you be doing down in a room in the basement that doesn't lead anywhere, and all of a sudden you just come out when that person's there? It's like,
Yeah.
that's a little suspect at first. So it's almost like, really? But it's a creepy scene. I can't argue it's not, because every time I watch it, even now, it's a black and white movie, and I'm still just like, it's coming. Shit, it's here. Okay. Like,
I mean, and that's literally my biggest fear. That's one of my biggest fears, is seeing, and that's why I have my curtain up right here, because that's where my little darkened hallway laundry room is. And my biggest fear when that damn thing's open and my lights are off is that I'm gonna see somebody fucking floating in there.
All right.
The funny thing, years ago they did that 101 or 50 scariest moments, whatever, in horror movies.
Mhm.
Those,
Yeah.
back then. And that was Tom Savini said that was one of the scenes that scared him the most out of any
Oh yeah,
movie he's
it's
ever-
it's a terrifying scene. Even nowadays.
First
That is a
time I
terrifying
saw it, I
scene.
was like, oh,
It
shit.
made me jump because I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I knew that scene was in the movie. I thought it was in like much later.
So then, real quick, of jump scares, just a small sidebar. So I said last night, me and my girlfriend went to a haunt. Well, they had us through a maze, and it was just pitch black, lit with tiki torches. So as this jump scare in the movie, you want to talk about a jump scare? It's dead silent. All you hear is the guy rev the chainsaw real quick and came right up running behind us. You want to talk jump scare? There's your fucking jump scare. So and with this, yeah, that had to play in.
And
Nice.
and just because I forgot to mention it, I did have daddy-daughter time this weekend. We went to go watch Smile.
Oh, what'd you think?
That
What'd
movie,
you think?
it took a while for my anxiety to stop.
Same.
That
wait.
movie was damn good.
I've heard so many
Did I
good
hype
things
it up
about
too
that.
much for you, or do you think my hype was?
Your hype was real. It was so damn good. The jump scares in it, man.
Yeah.
You know they're coming, but they still got me every single time. Even the one that you see in the trailer got me. I
Yes.
was like, God damn it! Like I knew it was gonna happen, and it still got me.
I'm happy to hear.
But back to this film. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch on, or are we taking a peek behind that curtain?
I want to see what's behind that curtain. I want to see, is it puckering over there?
Oh, I'll be happy to start. So, the large grosses for this film were noticed by Alfred Hitchcock. This led him to create his own low-budget horror film, Psycho, in 1960.
Nice.
Nice to know that he inspired that.
I for some reason find it so hard to believe that was a year later. I don't know why.
Right?
I just do.
Two effective horror movies like that back to back. Exterior shots of the haunted house, primarily during the opening sequence, were filmed at the Ennis Brown house, located in the Los Feliz. Sorry, my pronunciation was definitely wrong. I didn't realize that until I was halfway through. Neighborhood of Los Angeles, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright and built in 1924. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I kind of assumed it was designed, by somebody, and it didn't look like an actual haunted house to me, though. Like, it looked more like it was built to be like a museum or something.
It looked like an asylum type.
Yeah,
Something.
it looked
Yeah.
like something that was housing many things.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was somebody that a person would legit live in to me. That
I'm
was
gonna
my
see if I can
complaint.
find pictures of it.
Like the house they used on The Haunting, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, the opening scare trick was so effective that it actually started the idea of novelty haunting records. The scare trick being the pitch black scene with the noises.
Okay.
Records of spooky sounds, sound effects, and music that were commonly used for Halloween parties, and makeshift haunted house attractions were all inspired by that.
I used to love Halloween when I was a kid, and my mom would bust out. We had this one record, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was orange and black and had like your typical Halloween bullshit on it. And it was just nothing but scary sounds with like scary music behind it. And I absolutely loved that. So
Nice.
seeing that in this film brought back a lot of like, oh shit. Like I remember listening to shit like this when I was a kid.
I used to have cassette tapes of that too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I looked up photos of the house. I'm gonna send it to the group. Yo, that's Not you.
Okay,
You wouldn't find us living in it.
Okay, the skeleton that rises from the vat of acid is actually a real human skeleton. Like most movies, it was simply faster and cheaper to buy a real human skeleton from a biological supply house than having one created by the special effects department.
Spooky.
I still find that so weird. It's easier and cheaper to get a human skeleton than to make that plastic one.
Especially for that scene in fucking Poltergeist.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yes.
The curse.
Those were all real.
Yes, they were. This used a gimmick called emergo in theaters. When the skeleton rises from the acid vat in the film, a lighted plastic skeleton on a wire appeared from a black box next to the screen to swoop over the heads of the audience. The skeleton would then be pulled back into the box as the skeleton in the film is reeled in. Many theaters soon stopped using this effect because when the local boys heard about it, they would bring slingshots to the theater. When the skeleton started its journey, they would pull out their slingshots and fire at it with stones, BBs, ball bearings, and whatever else they could find.
Oh, boys will be boys.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, they will.
And some of the equipment still exists. It has been resurrected for use during special showings of the film.
Oh, cool.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Huh.
I like that. Okay.
That's a really cool gimmick. When
Thanks.
I went to New York, I saw the Harry Potter play, and they do something similar when the Dementors come out, and they're like floating across the audience, like right above your
Nice.
head, and it was just so fucking cool. So
Nice.
I mean, back in that time, that would have been terrifying seeing a skeleton float over your damn
Oh,
head.
yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. William Cat, he was a master at this, He was a showman. Okay, so although this was one of Allied artists' most profitable films of that period, it fell into the public domain. Despite the widespread availability on home video, the current holder of the Allied artists' library, Warner Brothers, still receives bookings for 35mm release prints.
I would like to see.
Would go into the special screening thing.
I would
Yeah.
love to. I would love to see this on the big screen. Honestly.
Yeah,
I think it'd be really cool.
And bring back the or modernize it just a little bit.
I would need a double feature though.
with the
Something
Tingler.
else, maybe with the Tingler or something, because an hour and 15 minutes is. I'll
Yeah.
sit in the theater for 2-3 hours. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
absolutely.
doubt. I mean, have
agree.
sat through Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben says, I remember Halloween records on the back of cereal boxes. I don't remember that.
I do.
I-
I do. I remember that.
I'm not that old. Sorry.
I am. I never had them, but I remember them. Okay, so William Castle related the story of meeting Vincent Price on a day when Price had learned he'd been passed over for a part. Over coffee, Castle described the premise of this picture. Price liked the idea, and it led to a 2-picture collaboration, this and The Tingler, which also came out in 1959.
Okay, so there's
there
my
you
double
go.
feature right there. Yeah.
Ben's old.
Yeah, you're old, Ben.
Sorry, Ben.
We'll
Join
talk
the
about it
club,
on
buddy.
Recycled Corn.
So Cassandra Peterson, of course, is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, once said on Larry King Live that this was her favorite horror film.
I can see why.
I like her taste very
But
much.
a horror film? Ugh, I don't know. I don't know that I can classify this as a horror movie.
Well, back then, a lot of movies were either they weren't sure whether it was horror, thriller, or sci-fi. Sci-fi was a little more like okay.
Oh, sci-fi was very distinct then.
But horror, I don't think had a definite definition just yet.
Yeah.
Just yet.
It was still kind of early for horror. Yeah, I mean,
No.
it was that transition period, but it was just right. This was shortly after the Universal horror ended because you had the Creature from the Black Lagoon in the 50s, and then it was a little before it went into almost the psychedelic era with and the Grindhouse era. So it's kind of in a gray spot right then and there.
And then and then right after this, you had Psycho, which then jump started a whole list of obviously what we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, what else we got, Chad Daddy?
Okay, the $10,000 offered to each of the guests in 1959 would be equal to over $101,500 in 2022.
Oh my!
I would stay in house for that money.
Yeah,
that's one thing I don't understand. They're still walking around the house. They're wandering around the house. After the Annabelle hung herself, I would have been locking myself in the room saying,
"Yeah,
I'm done. I'm just gonna stay here."
I'd have fucking stayed in my bed with my gun, just fucking laying there waiting for somebody to walk in.
And then when the doctor comes to the door and says, "Oh, we should have a meeting down in the living room to talk about this," Nope. You go do
fuck
that.
Yourself.
I'm good.
Go ahead.
I'll be like, go have fun. I'm gonna go to sleep, and
I'm gonna get my 10,000 first.
Yeah. Let you all die. Wake up. Okay, where's my money? See you later.
Exactly. And I thought it was kind of weird that the bedrooms, like the main doors to the hallway, locked, but they had an interconnecting door in between them that did not.
That's true. They did.
I thought that was weird. Sorry. The failure of the original copyright holder to renew the film's copyright resulted in it falling into the public domain, meaning that virtually anyone could duplicate and sell a VHS DVD copy of the film. Therefore, many of the versions of this film available on the market are either severely and usually badly edited, excuse me, and or of extremely poor quality, having been duped from second or third generation copies of the film.
All right.
Excuse me. Throat's a little dry.
Brody. Okay, I retract what I said in my review. If blood dropped from the roof onto me, I would stay there for that money.
Yeah, $10,000. You can fucking pour pig's blood all over me. I don't give a shit.
I'll be carry for a night if you just want to pour. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, I already mentioned the opening jump gimmick. How it was. It says the total darkness accompanied by horrible noises echoing in a large movie theater would have been terrifying in those days. The effect most likely is lost on modern viewers watching the film on a smaller television screen without the theatrical sound system, volume, and near total darkness.
Okay, it's still scary. It's still creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah, my youngest daughter Harper was sitting there and she was getting creeped out by it. And she was over sitting at the kitchen table. Alan Marshall, who plays the elegant Englishman among the group hoping to survive a single night in Hill House, had been a popular supporting actor. And wait,
say that again.
The elegant Englishman. So that would have been the doctor, the psychiatrist.
The doctor. Yes.
Yeah. So he was a popular supporting role in the 30s with prominent roles opposite Greta Garbo in Conquest and Charles Lawton in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. His life ended dramatically when he died on stage, playing one of Mae West's multiple husbands during a live performance of her play Sextet. So the poor guy died on stage.
Wow.
Going out in style, then, I guess.
Well, he died doing what he loved.
There you go. That's a great way to do it.
Absolutely. The main image in the display advertising showed a woman hanging from a noose with the other end of the rope held aloft by a gigantic grinning skeleton. It also included an image of Vincent Price holding a woman's decapitated head by the hair. In 1959, some newspapers judged the image too gruesome for publication. Exhibitors were encouraged to play up the fact the movie was so frightening, even the ads couldn't be shown. And then it became a huge box office hit.
So I have that poster.
I want that.
I have it. And when I was decorating my office at work, I was going to put up my Dawn of the Dead and my Lost Boys poster. And then I had this poster. And I decided against putting it up because of
the severed heads.
the severed head and the
Yeah.
hanging girl. I didn't want parents to come in my office and be like, "Oh my god, he's got a hanging woman in there."
I could see that. I could see
yeah.
parents raising a stink
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that Mr. Steve, he's got a hanging head in his poster. Like, oh God. Yeah. Continue.
Okay, during principal photography, Caroline Craig, who played Nora Manning, was in the early stages of her pregnancy. Her son Charles was born the following May.
Oh,
Oh, no shit.
couldn't even tell.
Yeah, would not even known.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
And
Better.
finally, the production of the film had been partly inspired by the success of Shirley Jackson's book, The Haunting of Hill House. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Which had been released earlier that year. Notably, the film's title is a reworking of Jackson's book title, and both reference the same subject. The value of books had been keen on William Castle's mind. When Ira Levin's Rosemary's Baby had been in the proof stage, Castle raised the money to purchase the movie rights. He instinctively knew it would become a valuable property that he could produce and direct. Although he wasn't able to direct it, he was able to both negotiate a deal to produce the film and produce other movies for the same studio as well.
Nice.
Smart man, too.
Yeah, he had a
Holy
good
shit.
bit of foresight there.
And I just want to give a real quick shout out to my girlfriend who pitched a television show to Vizio, I think it was today.
Really?
Oh, she figured out. I did see on
Yeah.
Facebook she was asking how to do that, so I'm glad she did that.
She one of somebody she knows works for them, and they are buying up properties, and so she pitched her show, and they're gonna have a meeting and stuff. So
All
hopefully
right.
hopefully she sells her first fucking TV show.
That's
All
fucking
right.
wicked,
Fingers crossed.
man.
That's
Fingers
rad.
crossed. Yeah, because then I can be a
Yeah,
stay-at-home
ooh.
dad.
Yeah, she could be your sugar mama.
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you for that, Chad Daddy. Let's
No,
move
my
on to
pleasure.
our questiones.
Yeah.
So, what format was this watched on?
Amazon Prime.
Prime.
All right. I watched it on YouTube, and it wasn't bad. The quality was not horrible.
Prime was all right. Some
Yeah.
scenes were a little more blurry than others,
Yeah.
but this is second and third generation copies mostly, floating around. So that's probably what this was.
Yeah. The colorized version that I watched was not a bad copy at all.
No,
It was very clean.
Nice.
yeah, Prime was colorized too. At least mine was. So yeah, no, it was actually pretty good.
All right. Douche of the film.
The wife.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
The wife and the doctor, obviously.
I
but
would
definitely
say
wife.
the doctor, because he knew she was married. He knew.
Yeah,
she
but
was married.
she went along with it. It goes both
I
ways.
know, but she's my pick for the douche.
Oh yes, bitch. She deserved
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I don't know if we can really answer this, but favorite kill?
The wife falling in a vat of acid.
It was a little more satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Kind of bummed we didn't get to see the doctor get into the acid, but
I don't think they wanted
see, that's
to reveal who maybe.
Yeah, that would have revealed it, and I'm glad they didn't because, I'm sitting there wondering, like, did he go in there or did Vincent Price's body? And then, of course, the big reveal later, which we'll get into, because I think, you know what?
best
that
scene.
segues into best scene. And I think that was my pick for best scene, was the reveal that Vincent Price knew all along what was happening. And he showed him with the whole big pulley system that he was moving the skeleton around that scared her and pushed her into the vat of acid. I love that. I was not expecting that at all.
I'm gonna have to go with the scene with the old lady in the dark room. When
I was going to say the same thing.
with Nora.
Actually, yeah.
And even the first time we see her, when she just kind of backs up, like
Yeah.
that was creepy as shit too.
Yeah.
So that for me, that was best scene. Did the opening scene hook you in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It was
Yeah.
different. It was different. I love the way that they narrated and gave the gist of everybody, and then, like Brody said, boom, we're on to the movie. We don't need any backstory, nothing. We got it all right there.
That was really cool that they actually gave a little bit of backstory on each character as they're
Yeah.
driving up. That was
Yeah.
I've never seen that done in a movie before quite like that.
And the calming voice. Yet I'm intrigued and I'm scared, but you're calm.
Vincent Price had such a distinct voice. It was calming and terrifying at the same time. Like
yeah.
he just, man.
He
Brody
had
said-
great presence.
Brody said, "Whose hairy hand grabs Nora? Was it the doctor's?" I
That's what
wondered
I'm.
that too.
No,
I was wondering that too.
I think it's the caretaker, the husband,
Oh, it could have been the caretaker in on it.
because the voice doesn't sound like his accent. It doesn't at all. When you hear him say, get out while you can," it sounds like a
No.
American.
That was the caretaker. When it showed her, when the hand just reached around the corner and grabbed her, is what Brody was
Oh,
asking.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting confused. I was
Yeah,
like, wait.
that was the caretaker. Yeah, but the hand, it could have been, or it could have actually been one of the ghosts that they were alleging to.
The world may never know. All right. Most attractive character.
The wife was pretty attractive, actually. She was a bitch.
The
but she-
wife, the wife was hot, but I gotta go with Vincent Price, man. He looked fucking
I
suave.
mean,
Oh, he was suave and
yeah,
handsome. He
he
was a very
was.
dapper gentleman in this movie.
It's a tie because she was really good looking.
I don't,
she-
I don't know,
she
man.
had,
Nora.
she had a nice waist.
I don't know. I
like-
liked Nora. I
I
thought she
like
was
Nora,
cute.
but I got a Jennifer Lawrence thing, and she reminded me of
Yeah.
her.
Yeah,
All right.
now the wife and then the Price as the male here. I mean, that's a given.
Heard. All right. Did the score set the mood?
Oh my
Oh,
god, yes. I love the score.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The score
Yeah.
was great.
It
the score
fit perfect.
the score was almost its own character.
I want
Oh yeah.
if they ever put it on record, I want to buy it.
I'm sure it's probably out there somewhere.
I will find it.
And it would have to be on record too. Like it would have to be an actual album.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. No. This doesn't need the MP3 treatment. I need those cracks and those pops with it. Best song. I don't think we can pick one.
We didn't get a
No,
song, so
no song.
NA
Favorite character.
Vincent Price.
No, yeah.
Yep. Agreed. Was it scary? Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I was
Bobby.
just
What were we gonna say?
For other runner-up character, actually, what's the guy's name? Lance.
Yeah,
I liked his character too.
I liked Pritchard only because he was very knowledgeable. He knew what the fuck was going on there. Granted, once he got drunk, he became kind of annoying, but he was probably second runner up for me.
So Pritchard, Lance, and Vincent Price were about the only ones that were tolerable. The other lady, why was she even there? She didn't.
Yeah, she didn't even do nothing. Nothing. She was just like
she was just there to get blood dripped on and drink
and
a scotch.
I'm here for the money because I'm a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Was it scary?
Yes.
I
It
think
had
for the time, it
scary
would've been.
moments.
For the time, it
For the
would've been.
time, yes. It has some moments, yes.
Yeah. So yes. Does it hold up
Marginally, yeah.
today?
I think so
Yeah.
Very well.
Mhm.
because
Very well,
none of
I'd
us were
say.
expecting a whodunit, so it was a nice little twist there.
Yep. How was the acting, fellas?
Oh, fantastic!
Everybody was
Except-
great.
The wife hated Nora because of all the screaming. She just wanted her to die. I think that's why that's part of why she didn't like it. She gets annoyed with a lot of screaming in movies.
Yeah, she did scream a lot.
She did. That was a lot of, yeah, I would be annoyed too. But everybody did great.
Okay. Did you like the cinematography?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean,
It was good. Nothing to write home about.
I liked the one scene when they're entering the house and you just get the camera just going through the doorway. I don't know. For me, I loved that. And then everybody walks in. Like it was good. It was good.
And
I mean,
I did like the scene of the hearse and the funeral cars driving up to the house too.
yeah. And like Brody said, it's nothing to write home about. This was, the style of filming back then really hadn't progressed to what it got to in the future. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was decent for the time.
And also with that shot of them coming into the house, that swelling up of the piano in that scene really, really hits it home too.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys like the premise?
Yes.
I did because it gave us this premise of them going into a haunted house and kind of flipped it on its ear.
Yep. All right. Now on to our R's: recycle, rewind, remake, or reboot.
Well,
What's already been
it was remade,
Yeah.
but
It was
I'll
remade.
rewind it for days.
I'll rewind it, and I do. I really like this, but I gotta say I like the remake better.
Okay.
I
That's fair.
gotta say, I actually have not sat through the remake.
You should give it a shot because I really it's really good. It's a really good movie.
They always have it on this time of year, especially AMC. So I'll catch it there first, and then I'll be like, okay, now I'll go watch it with no cuts in it and see what it really is.
I'm gonna go rewind.
Mhm.
I will definitely watch this film again.
Definitely.
I wouldn't mind a reboot if they made it a little bit more on the scary side. Still stick with the who done it,
Yeah.
but and like I know they've already done the remake, but make it scary, man. Give me a really, really scary reboot of this.
And give some and make it ghosts too. Give actual ghosts.
Yeah.
And Brody, yes, the remake did get a sequel, Return to House on Haunted Hill.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one.
I never saw that one either. So
We don't talk about Bruno. Okay, boys, give us those ratings, Babo.
3.8.
Oh, all right.
That's very generous. I'm going to go 3.5. You know, I feel like it's a pretty fair score to give it.
I agree. 3.5. That's where I'm sitting at also.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny came in low and gave it a 2.3.
Yes.
Let me double check. Let me double check just in case. Yep, 2.3 for John. Oh,
Brody.
You want me to tally it up? I thought you were going to tally it up.
I don't remember what Brody gave it. I can.
Brody gave it a 3.
Was it 3?
Yeah, he gave it a solid 3.
Yeah, it was solid 3. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just tally that up real quick. Plus 3.5 plus 3.8. 16.1.
Drum roll.
That gives us a 3.2.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's a
Okay.
fair score.
That's
That's a really fair score for this movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so that is a 3.2?
3.2 for the classic.
For the classic, The House on Haunted Hill, released February 1959.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing next week, Chad Daddy?
Okay, so next week we are changing it up a little bit from the schedule that I shared with you guys before, because I actually, we've had to do some schedule juggling, and I ended up with 2 picks in a row, and I didn't want to have that. It was going to be 1408, so I switched that. So next week we're going with Big Johnny D's pick of the 13 Ghosts remake.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
Okay, I gotta say,
Some Matthew Lillard action on this.
that's a good remake. I think it is. I know there's quite a few people who don't. I think it's a good remake.
I enjoy it.
I love that movie.
I enjoy it.
Some of the ghosts in that movie freaked me out, like the jackal. To this day, still fucking freaks me out. So
I have a feeling. God. I have a feeling we all have already in our mind what we're gonna pick for favorite kill, because there's one that stands out.
Oh yeah.
I gotta rewatch. Yeah.
All right, fellas. So, do we have anything nerdy to talk about? If we do, talk nerdy to me, baby.
I didn't see much. I mean, I would like to say in December we're getting Terrifier 2 on Blu-ray, and I guess Walmart's getting it exclusively, so they have a steelbook version of it coming as well.
$20. $20 for the steelbook.
I'm gonna pick that. Real quick, Terrifier 1. That's on DVD. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I'm like, if I'm gonna go get Terrifier 2, I gotta get the first one as well. So I gotta pick them both up.
Well, that being Walmart, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They'll probably do a 2-pack or something.
Probably. I have a couple quick little things here. Maybe not little, but ones I'm excited for, because we reviewed one of these movies. So, Hell House LLC that movie, that series is getting an Origins, the Carmichael Manor. It's coming to Shudder in 2023.
Oh hell yeah!
Because I believe they just been releasing those 3 movies. I forgot what platform it was on, but they've been like leading up to making it. So now we're getting a Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor. So I'm so excited for that, because all 3 of them are actually very good. We reviewed Hell House on here, and I know we gave it a pretty damn good high score.
Well, see, and but here, the only thing that worries me about that is this will be the first one that's not found footage.
Yes, it will not be.
So I hope that doesn't hurt, because I love the found footage aspect of those films. So I hope that doesn't hurt the movie. But I'm all for it. I love those films. So we'll see what happens.
So okay, here's the little little bit of behind it so far. It says, in this chapter of what will become known as Hell House LSE Origin Films, a group of cold case investigators stay at the Carmichael Manor, site of the grisly and unsolved murders of the Carmichael family back in the 80s. After 4 nights, the group was never heard from again. What is discovered on their footage is even more disturbing. So actually,
it is found footage.
it will be, but I think it's probably going to mix. I don't know, but it says here what's discovered on their footage is even more disturbing than what's on the Hell House.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm so curious. I'm excited. That's one of my favorite franchises of modern time.
Nice.
So just real quick in the chat, Brody said, give me a 13 episode series where each episode explains the backstory of each ghost. While I'm all for that, it would need to be more than 13 episodes just so that we can get a little bit more background, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm all for it.
Which is funny because I thought at one point that was being discussed as a possibility.
I thought it was like supposed to happen at Netflix or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And I'm all for that. I'd love to see the origins of these 13 ghosts.
Agreed.
All right. Anything else, Bobby?
Yeah, one more, because not a horror one, but this was it's still one of my favorite movies. So, Twister from 1996 is going to get a sequel.
Nice.
It's going to have, so far they're trying to get Helen Hunt back. There's no definite things on it yet, but they're saying we are in talks. It's writing. We're looking to get her back. So it literally just came out, popped up today. So there's not too much on it, but I mean, the first Twister with Bill Paxton and her was a great movie.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see a sequel to it. If they do it right, I'm all for it.
I only have one bit of news, and for me, it is huge news. Man of Steel 2 is in the works at Warner Brothers with
really?
Henry Cavill. Yes, Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. Thank the Lord. So that's all I got for nerd news.
Since it was already spoiled, actually spoiled by
I don't know.
himself.
I have not even seen a preview for Black Adam because I don't want to know anything about the movie. I have steered clear of all spoilers.
Something tells me the spoiler that he leaked, I don't think that's the real end credits, post-credit scene. I feel like it was intentionally leaked to get more people into the theaters, and I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be the. I don't think it's gonna be the big surprise that they wanted.
All right, yeah. So the big nerd news, Brody right here says huge news. Blumhouse fucked Halloween Ends.
And boy, did they ever.
So we all three of us
Let's talk about it.
saw it. All right.
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
Be my guest, Scoobs.
All right.
You were the first to see it.
I despised Halloween Kills. We know this. I went on a rant about it last year.
Yep, me too.
I had high hopes for this film. High hopes. Because I was like, okay, the middle one always kind of sucks. The end has to be better. And no, there's just so much wrong with this movie. And I'm so tired of people trying to shove it down my throat that it's a good film. It's not a good film.
Mm-mm.
Without giving too much away, it just... It didn't work. It didn't work for me. And the bullshit, oh, well, Lori can be happy now, blah, blah, blah. Bro, her daughter died 4 years before horribly, but now she's living a happy, free life. Like, what the fuck? Like, that made absolutely no fucking sense to me. I'm sorry, but if I was in fear of somebody for fucking 40 years and then that person killed my fucking son-in-law and my daughter, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go and live a happy, free life knowing that he's still out there because he hasn't been caught.
Yep.
I'm going to be even more on edge. Like, it just... There were some cool things. I did like the new character that they introduced. I liked the direction it was heading, but then they said, let me take a shit on you first. And that's what they did. And just completely fucked this whole fucking movie. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
It was too inconsistent with the two movies that came before it. And I've never hidden the fact that I haven't been a fan of the Blumhouse sequels already. But it feels like this was an incomplete trilogy. Like it was like they ran out of ideas and then just changed their whole plan. Because it wasn't a satisfying ending at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you had just a complete 180 on Michael himself, going from kills into this. Again, I don't want to get into spoiler territory because people haven't seen it yet, but it's the Michael we had in Halloween Kills. And again, I didn't care for it that much, and I was going into it with the hope that this has to be better than Kills, and it was so disappointing. It was so boring. This was practically a goddamn Lifetime movie with the with the subplot going on.
Romeo. It was like
It was Romeo and Juliet. You're right.
Romeo
It
and
was Romeo and
Juliet. It was Romeo and Juliet, Natural Born Killers,
which I
what
also
else did I
hated.
say?
Friday Part
Candyman
5.
and Friday the 13th Part 5, all wrapped up into one fucking shitty movie.
I would have been happier if it was closer to Halloween or Friday the 13th Part 5 than it was.
Yeah.
I could have lived with that, but
Yeah, definitely. It just they had me with the whole, when the whole eye thing and seeing, I was like, oh shit, we're going supernatural with this shit. And
it was to me, it was predictable. Like I said, I predicted it from the opening scene, what was going to happen to that character, and I was right. I really didn't. I wanted it to go in a different direction, but it didn't. It went in that predictable territory. It was just uninspired. It felt like they ran out of ideas to me.
Yeah. I mean, there's ton of ideas. There was tons of ideas. Like, I just wish this was the one time they would have listened to the fans and given the fans what they wanted. And it just, I don't know.
And like you, I agree. I'm getting tired of people saying, well, if you didn't like this, you just didn't understand. Like, yeah, we understood it, but we didn't like it.
Yeah.
We can hate it even if we understand it. It wasn't like highbrow writing.
Yeah.
At all. Dan McBride fucking wrote it.
Yeah, so they're trying to make it seem like it's this big thinker of a movie. And my daughter's back there dancing. She's distracting me.
That's your background up there.
You saw me.
And she so it's not this movie that is you need to sit there and think about it. It's not that. And the fact that people are trying to make it that just kind of shows that some of these people aren't really that bright.
No, they're trying to. They're
pretentious.
They're pretentious about it.
I've noticed on TikTok, a lot of the people defending this movie are Gen Z. And a lot of the videos being made about why this is a good movie and why this and why that, they're Gen Z kids. And I'm like, you're dumb. Shut up. Like, you don't get the whole point of what Michael Myers was.
In one of my horror groups, this one lady was defending it and saying how, I like it because I'm a true horror fan. If you don't like this, you're not a true horror fan. And I almost said, you know what? If I'm not a true horror fan, my co-hosts are going to be severely disappointed because we have a rather successful podcast, but I didn't.
Sometimes
I'm just so tired of them saying, if you don't like this, you're not a horror fan. Yeah, you can still be a horror fan and not like everything.
This wasn't a horror movie.
No,
that's the thing. This was not a horror movie. This was a love story that had murders in it. This was not
This was a Lifetime movie.
There was nothing scary in this movie at all. Everything that made Michael Myers scary, they got rid of. And like I said, my main bitch with Halloween Kills is people bitched and complained that Michael Myers wasn't this entity that, with Rob Zombie's Halloween, how Myers just brutally killed everybody. And he didn't give a fuck if people saw him or not. He just fucking killed. People that hated that movie defend Halloween Kills as, oh, no, Michael Myers would do that. Okay, but you just sat there and said you fucking hated Rob Zombie's Halloween. You don't hate Rob Zombie's Halloween because it's a shitty movie. You hate Rob Zombie's Halloween because it's Rob Zombie.
Basically.
And because that whole scene where he fucking demolished the town that was trying to beat him down, and then...
That's right, yeah.
And then spoiler alert, in Halloween Ends, he's a fucking homeless invalid living in the sewers.
And then you see, well, the more he kills, the stronger he gets. Where did that go? Where did that go? Like, I mean, if he's obviously been killing people in those sewers because that's what the homeless guy said.
Yeah.
So there was people missing. And that's another thing that fucking bugged me. People were missing. You did not think to go look for Michael Myers, or were you just at the point where you're just like, we're just going to let him go? he's gonna do what he do. It just I don't know, man. I fucking hate it.
Very, very inconsistent. But you and I had talked about a lot about it.
There's a
Bobby,
reason why I let you guys go on it. I guys
Bobby,
go 'cause I
you're
knew you
you're
guys
the
had a lot to
Halloween
say.
guy.
Yeah, you
You're
are
the
the
Halloween guy.
Halloween guy.
All right, so here I'm gonna start off like that. Listen, I know a lot of people out there with this whole trilogy. It's like, well, 18 was good, Kills sucks. I mean, listen, I'll say it right here. I loved 18. Does it have its moments? By God, I could go through the whole series and take every movie we love in this series and be like, guys, it has its moments. But guess what? We jerk off to it when we're like, yeah, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, for me, for Kills, I do like the movie. I'm not gonna say I don't. I do. But I know why people don't. And hey, all right, cool. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
The dialogue is not great. I'll 100% like, listen, dialogue isn't great. The only other thing I always ever say is like, well, if you're in an angry mob, you don't really talk sense anyway. So there's that real life stipulation. If you catch that a little bit, fair enough. I loved 18. I like Kills. Okay. So for me, real quick, I do have to say this though. Whoever is their marketing people, no offense, but they're geniuses. Because the way they marketed it, I gotta say, I'm like, you guys did a fantastic job. You did. You marketed. Like we're like, okay, we know what we might be getting, but we're still not sure. Like there was a lot that was there. There was a lot that we didn't see in the movie that was in that trailer that I'm like, okay, which trailers can do. So when I went and I saw this overnight, or well, Friday. It came out Thursday, whatever. Excuse me. Basically, listen, this whole thing of, oh, if you don't like this movie, you're not a true horror fan. I will never understand. We're also in a time where everybody wants to be like, oh, you have to do this, you have to like this, it has to be, no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this movie,
Yeah.
but hate Kills.
There we
I'm
go.
like, I'll tell you right now, you love this movie and you hate Kills, and not to you guys, but the people who are like so bent on this movie as a great movie. You like it because it's different. That's it. I don't mean to be mean. I'm not saying you can't like a movie. I'm not saying you can't tell me why you love it. I want to know why you love it. But for a lot of people who like to be like, if you don't like this movie, you're not a horror fan. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. No, you like this movie because it's different. Just as we all love Halloween 3 because it's different to a degree.
But
Right,
same people, you're right to a certain extent. But majority of the people that I have seen that love this movie and love it because it's different hate Halloween 3 because it's different.
Yep.
And again, it just makes it's just, this is all a head scratch. Like, listen, were there good moments in this movie? Yeah, there were. I'm not going to say there
Yeah,
weren't.
there was.
There
was.
I can't, I could hate a movie, but if I still say, it's got some decent moments. Okay. Am I still going to buy this? Well, yeah. I mean, I can't not have it. I mean, it's like buying the whole Friday the 13th set and nobody wants to buy Jason Goes to Hell because it sucked. Well, it's going to be there, guys. You just buy it and don't watch it.
I have it. I have it.
If you don't like,
if you don't
like it, it's okay. So I mean, so for me, this movie was I went in with medium expectations. I'm like, I actually had a theory before like going in. I'm like, maybe there's a release of 2 different movies here. I swear to God, I'm like,
that would have been cool.
See, that's because I'm like, some people hated it, some people loved it. I'm like, what if that's the mind fuck behind this? There's 2 different movies. I don't realize
they released a different. It would have been cool had they released a different version on Peacock
than what's in the theater.
and in the theaters.
That would have been
So
that would have been
why
an interesting strategy.
So that way, the people that watched it on Peacock are the ones complaining that they fucking hated it, but the ones who went in the theater were like, "Oh my God, I loved it."
So I mean, they did that with Resurrection. There's 4 endings, and each theater got a different ending. So that movie actually had the right shit going on at the time in terms of a release. I can't argue that.
Okay, really, I didn't know they had.
No, yeah, there's 4 endings. That's a whole nother conversation.
I just didn't realize it got released with 4 different endings. That's really unusual.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Clue did that back in the 80s.
So I remember in the theaters, I'm watching it. And my one friend, she keeps looking at me, and I can't look away from the screen because I'm like, I didn't know, I knew what I was getting, but I'm like, how am I going to get it? I'm like, okay, we see Michael here. Okay. okay, he kills 1% and he's like rejuvenate. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, I like the aspect that if he's killing, it's giving him that energy. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. All right. I got too much of a character that I didn't care about. I get where they're trying to go. I do. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't, because those intelligent people would say I don't. Like, no, I know where you're going with this movie, but the problem is that just doesn't happen over time. That doesn't just happen with the look. You have to.
Corey should have been
You know.
introduced in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He should have been introduced in 2018. The accident happens and kills, and then we see the town basically turn
dwindle.
him into what he became. That would have been great. But throwing this new character on us
Made no sense.
who is the whole fucking movie, and we get 10 minutes of Michael when it's supposed to be the end battle between Laurie and Michael. It's the last movie we're getting Michael Myers in, and you only put him in for 10 fucking minutes.
And here's the funny part is you say that and everybody's like, well, he wasn't as much in the original Halloween. I'm like, yeah, but we didn't know what we were getting.
Yeah, we
with
didn't
the
know what we
original
were getting.
We
That's
knew,
but
different.
he was still the main focus of Halloween.
Yeah, we understood that this was a man.
We were expecting him to be the main focus in Halloween Ends, and he was not.
So
if they wanted to
for
make
me-
something so completely different, they should have just made that a different movie.
Yeah.
So here's what I mean. Again, we're gonna kind of keep this a little spoiler free. So what I'm gonna say is this: with my little review here, I wrote something as well. You gave me too much on a character that I didn't know anything about. Has nothing to do with Halloween 18 Kills, or for that matter, any of the Halloween franchise to begin with, whether it's this trilogy or not. You say this is the last epic battle between Michael and Laurie. So we're making this clear right now. Hell, the posters make it clear. This is Michael and Laurie's story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's been 4 years. I mean, what could have Michael done? I mean, I guess there could have been something where it's like, where is he? We really don't know where he is. And if there was no people missing, fair enough. Like, okay, then you could really give me he's missing. We're not sure. We're on edge, but we're trying to build back. We have to, because we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
They should have done it like that, and not, oh, we're all happy. Oh yeah, we don't know where the fuck he is, but people are missing, like you said before, Scoop. And don't give me 10 minutes of Michael. I need, if this is the end, Michael has to kill. But that ending fight was not epic.
Nope.
It has to build up to that. I'm not saying I need an onslaught like Kills. I still need to know that this man is a threat, or this thing is a threat. He was not a threat here. The whole maybe this has to be one spoiler. I will apologize, but I think it has to be said. That whole BS throwing him around, and you get his mask off in 10 seconds, and Laurie can't get it off in 44 years. Are you kidding me? This bitch, and this bitch kid is all of a sudden strong as can be. That's
okay, and that's what I was gonna get at. Okay, Corey beat the fuck out of Michael, took his mask. Okay, but then, right before that, Michael fucking killed a woman, and fucking pinned her to the fucking wall
with one
which
hand.
Obviously takes strength with one fucking hand. And I'm sorry, but I'm already tired of the fucking pinning the fucking people to the wall. It's been done. Like, why the fuck do we need to see it again? But you're showing that he has strength already.
Mm-hmm.
And this fucking little kid comes and beats the fuck out of him and does something that nobody has ever done. And taking his mask, the fuck out of here.
Yep, I agree.
The kid had no business. Again, he had no business because he's nowhere in any other Halloween film.
Yeah, and we got a lot about a character that I didn't even give two shits about him, to be honest. I mean, I felt bad for him at the beginning of the movie, but as it progressed, I just lost
these
any empathy
kids,
for him.
High school kids beat his ass.
Mm-hmm.
High school kids beat his ass. He could not fight back, but he's taking down the boogeyman.
Yeah, no,
doesn't happen.
So in terms, this movie, it fell short for me. Obviously, it fell short for a lot of us. Listen, you love it, by God, you can watch it every Halloween. I'm not going to stop you. Hey, let's talk about it. Great. It's not what it was marketed to be, but again, the marketing geniuses, I can't argue with that. But I really think, and I think maybe I might be right to some sort of degree, even though this movie is doing well, we all knew it was going to do well, whether we liked it or hated it, because it's a Halloween Ends movie. It's the last time for certain people. I have a feeling, and I'll say this, I think the true ending is kills. I will stand by that. I will stand by that because it ends on his face. Fair enough, whether he's dead or whatever. I think someone's going to come back in the future and make something that will follow up and end it a little better, or they're going to do something else. But I don't think you're going to get that for another 10 years. This movie fell short of a lot of things. It fell short of the expectation of this is their last movie. You could have done that, and Corey could have still been there, but it could have been Michael has an influence on him, but Michael still kills. He dies. It should have been better.
I wouldn't have minded a passing of the torch. Like I said before the show started, I loved the way Corey looked in the Michael Myers setup. He looked a lot like Dick Warlock. He had the same frame, a lot slender than Michael. He was smaller. I loved it. I loved that look. I would not have minded a passing of the torch, but I needed that supernatural, unstoppable killer that we were so accustomed to.
Same.
And to take that away and shove this shit in our face, I don't want to think when I go to the movies. I shouldn't have to sit there and be like, you didn't see this for this. No, a fucking movie should do what it's meant to do and give us what the writers and the director, what their vision is, and we should understand it. We don't need a fucking explanation from fucking everybody else after the fact as to why this happened and why this happened. Oh, but you didn't see it from this perspective. No, I saw it from my fucking perspective, and it was stupid. It didn't make any goddamn sense. And like I said, the director sent out this long release about what he was trying to do with his film. I'm sorry, but if you did not get that on film and that's not how it came across, then you didn't do your job as a director. You didn't do your job as a writer.
Exactly.
And that's the end of my rant on Halloween Ends.
I have to agree with you 100%. And this is easily for me my least favorite of all the Halloween movies. I will take Busta Rhymes saying "trick or treat, motherfucker."
Oh yeah,
any day.
Fuck yeah! At least that movie was fun.
Yes.
At least I think I got to rewatch that. That's been an eon for that movie. But in terms of real quick, like if you have to think about a movie, I mean, certain movies will make you think, but good movies that make you think also show you what you're really thinking about too.
Yep.
Like I say Smile is a good thinker, but it's also like, oh, I see where you're coming from.
Okay, a good thinker movie would be like Jacob's Ladder.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a very psychological.
A thinker movie has to be a mind fuck, but it has a resolution.
Yes.
Yep. And this was none of that. So
no.
I mean, I said this before air. Although again, it was still low expectation for this scene, but the last 15 minutes, I don't want to reveal, but I want to, but whatever. Where we see Michael do a thing to a certain someone, and they do have the fight, and we do see the end of a certain someone. I will say the last 15, 20 minutes of this movie, with that, if I had the movie I know they probably wanted to do and what we all most likely wanted, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I still like the last minutes, but that's about it. But I'll end my rant there. Like I said, you guys love, if whoever loves it, by God, we're still friends.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We can,
we
don't have to agree on everything, and that I can still John said he liked the movie. He liked it. And he's not here.
I know. I really wish he was here to give his take on it.
Yeah.
I do want to. I think next week, John, if you are watching this, he's probably going to see it.
He was.
John, I want to hear your opinion, and I want to hear solid back. I love you, but I do want to see it.
Brody said the fight between Myers and Strode was dog shit. She's been struggling for years to kill him, and she did it too easy in this. Yep.
Yeah, that's the other issue with it too.
Yep. All right, fellas. Well, we are at an hour and 31 minutes, so let's go ahead and call this show Chad Daddy. Let's
I
do
would
it.
just like to start off by saying this is your Chad Daddy, your Dark Lord of Knowledge, saying we'll see you next week, bitches.
This is your killing machine, Bobby Moon, saying, "It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horathon. And do
Nice.
remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to catch us next week. Don't forget to catch us next week at 6:30 p.m. It's almost time. Good night."
And for the audio
That was
listeners that can't see, Bobby was swinging around his Halloween 3 set.
That was sweet.
And I am your host with the ghost, the prince of the paranormal, the duke of the dead, Lord Scuba Cabra, saying, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Penis.